Hello, homeschool friends. Sabrina here from sevensistershomeschool.com. It's been a while. I popped in once, I think, in the last couple of months, and that was it for a little bit. I was kind of revamping what we're going to be doing with Facebook Lives for Seven Sisters. So, new year, new Seven Sisters Facebook Live. Here we go. So I am glad that you are our seventh sister. First of all, we are delighted to be able to kind of big sister those of you who are homeschooling high school or who are getting ready to homeschool high school. By the way, you can do it. Okay? So if you get nothing else out of this Facebook Live this morning, hear that. You can do it. Okay? You got this. Now, we're going to talk about health this morning. We're going to talk about health for your homeschool high school, as in the subject, the academic, credit that needs to be earned for the transcript. But tied into that, magically and beautifully, will be the idea of a healthy homeschool high school. So at the time that I'm recording this anyway, it is January, and a lot of us like to think in terms of new and fixing and resolving and one wording and so many different ways to approach a new year. But there is a natural kind of inclination to reset button in January. And I want to just encourage you to think about a healthy homeschool high school. A healthy homeschool high school is going to be one that embraces varying things and strives to balance them with one another. So allow for hard work and allow for rest. Allow for your teen to have time to himself, because teens need time alone to learn about themselves, to think deeply about things, to explore hobbies and interests. And they also need connected time, relational time, time with others in the family, time with friends, time with mentors. Okay, so self-time and other time, work time and rest time, play time, and contemplation time. It's fun to just distract yourself. Sometimes it's actually good for your brain. It clears out some of the cobwebs. Sometimes a belly laugh is exactly what is needed for a healthy high school, homeschool experience. And sometimes sitting quietly with something hard and deep to think about, and maybe it makes you cry a little bit. That's also good in balance. Play and contemplation. Creation. Creating beautiful things. Fine arts, music, photography, painting, drawing. I've been experimenting with fine arts some in the last couple of months, and I'm not a teenager anymore. But experimenting with creation is a really healthy thing to include in your homeschool high school. But so is appreciation. And that is looking at things that others have created. Looking at artwork and listening to music and cheering for the dinner that mom made that was really cool and awesome, and noticing God's creative handiwork in the world around us and appreciating it. Okay, so I'm going to encourage you to look for ways to balance work and rest, self and others, play and contemplation, and creation and appreciation. Now, what does that have to do with the academic subject of health? That is going to show up on the high school transcript. And if you've done it right, it's going to show that your teen earned a credit in that. What is one credit of high school health? Well, a lot of different ways to earn that. If you find a textbook approach is what appeals to you, there are lots of sort of plain vanilla health textbooks out there that you might enjoy using. They will teach basic anatomy and physiology. They will teach some nutrition, some basic ideas about exercise and, hygiene, all that kind of stuff. But if you want to think of something beyond that, go back to this idea of balance that we were talking about in our homeschool high schools in general. We want to balance basic vanilla understanding physical health with mental, emotional, spiritual, and relational health. Because to really earn a credit in high school health that is going to be meaningful to your teen through the rest of her life, a credit that is going to be both challenging here and now and comforting and empowering here and now, You want to offer a health credit that includes an understanding of physical health, but also brings in the importance of mental health, emotional health, relational health, and spiritual health. If you're looking for a textbook that will help you do that, no apologies for self-promoting here. Seven Sisters, homeschool.com. High School Health for the Whole Person. It is a 1-year, 1-credit, really comprehensive health program. And you can check out sample excerpts of that on the website. You also never risk anything when you order curriculum from sevensistershomeschool.com. If you download it, take a look at it, and it's not going to meet your needs, you send us an email and say, I'd like my money back. This isn't going to be a good fit for us. And we say, okay, and we give you your money back. Okay, so no risk to check it out and try it. If you don't want to just use a textbook, then one of the lovely things about the health credit is that it really lends itself to lots of experiential learning, lots of hands-on, lots of varied learning. So if you have a kid who is really not good with the visual learning that goes along with the textbook, or who gets bored easily, health is one of those subject areas that does really well with using some written traditional text instructional material, but also lots of field trips, lots of video components. There's so many really good health instructional videos that you can find online. Talking to people in your community. You probably have a nurse somewhere in your family or in your church community or in your neighborhood. You probably have a doctor or perhaps a dentist. I have a son who's a dentist, so we can talk lots about tooth and tooth health in our family. Sometimes when we don't want to. Sometimes when we're reminded during a family dinner that we should all floss immediately after the meal because we were having corn on the cob. Things like that. But you have people in your family and in your community who have expertise in various areas of health. And often there's someone in your circle who is a personal trainer or who is very interested in fitness for themselves, interested in a positive, healthy, balanced way, not someone who is crazy about exercise and exercise only, not someone who is jumping from fad to fad, but someone who really has demonstrated over years that they really respect the body that God gave them. They want to care for it. These are fantastic resources for health learning for teens in high school. The more teens connect the idea of health with ownership for themselves, the less that it's about checking a box on the transcript checklist, and the more it's about life preparation, the better they're going to do with it as an academic subject, and the better that learning is going to serve them for the rest of their lives. When I look back on my teen years, I remember almost nothing about the health class that I had in high school. And I think it's because it was basic, plain vanilla stuff that, to be quite honest, most 15-year-olds already know this stuff before you put them in a class. I mean, if you haven't learned why it's important to brush your teeth and floss by 15, you're late to the game, right? So a lot of what we learned in my high school health class was not helpful because I already knew those things, and it was kind of like, I'm checking a box here. But if my experience had included talking to people who were genuinely knowledgeable about and interested in nutrition, and why the understanding of how different foods affect our bodies, affect our health, can aid in healing, can build immunity, how we eat in response to stress or we stop eating in response to stress, how our bodies are giving us clues all the time as to whether what we're feeding them is helping them or harming them. What to do with sugar and how to balance that in the big picture. I mean, there are no super easy answers to this, but I'll tell you what, there is a lot of misinformation out there. And if your teens are anything like the vast majority of teens in this day and age, it's currently January 2021, they are reading stuff. They are seeing it come through their social media feeds. They are seeing it in articles online, and a lot of this stuff is presented very authoritatively. very formulaically. This is the formula, the way to be healthy. This is the way to build muscle and lose fat. This is the way to whatever. And a lot of it is misinformation. So another part of health curriculum that's going to be successful for your teens in high school is to include critical thinking in there. To include the importance of asking common sense questions. To consider the source. To think about where that information is coming from. Is this coming from some place that is selling health supplements? Well, okay, that doesn't mean that what they're telling you is totally wrong, but it does mean that they have a money-making agenda that is a part of what they're doing, right? So building critical thinking skills is a part of mental health, intellectual health, and relational health. When we help our kids develop good discernment as they learn about health, we're doing a whole lot more than checking a box on the transcript. Your child's health credit in high school should not be checking a box on a transcript, because they're going to need good health skills the rest of their lives. So think about a health curriculum that is going to pull in the pieces that maybe are from very different places, and it's going to pull them into a place of balance so that your kid gets a well-rounded experience with homeschool high school health. And at the same time, remember to keep that homeschool high school healthy. Look for ways to balance self and others, to balance work and rest, to balance play and contemplation, and to balance creation and appreciation. And that is my challenge for you this week. Look for ways to balance those things in your homeschool high school so that all of you start off 2021, or pick up wherever you are right now when you're watching the video. Start off healthy from this point forward. I would love for you to share your comments or ideas or questions about health in homeschool high school or a healthy homeschool high school. So share in the comments below, and I look forward to meeting with you again next week. Take care, guys. Bye.